Hi everyone, I'm Saksham. I'm the creative director at Outgrow, and I'll just be giving you guys a brief picture of email marketing before introducing our webinar presenter, Liz. Uh, Email, as you are all very well aware, is the most popular communication channel in the world. In 2018, worldwide email users reached 3.8 billion. By 2020, they predict it will top 4 billion. And email isn't just popular, it's also insanely effective for businesses and entrepreneurs who want to make the money and build a large following. That's because email marketing drives more conversions than any other marketing channel, whether it be Google search or Facebook or Instagram. But you can't just write an email series, tick it in an autoresponder, and pray for opens, clicks, and sales. You need an effective email marketing strategy. That's why we have partnered up with the experts at the email marketing platform AWeber to present this workshop. We have with us here Liz, who is a senior content marketing specialist at AWeber. She develops content marketing strategies, crafts content, speaks at webinars, and launches email marketing campaigns. An email marketing fanatic, she's delved into excessive amounts of data to discover the secret behind the world's top performing and email marketing campaigns. So now I'm just going to hand it over to Liz.
Oh, thank you for that introduction. And hi, everyone. Thanks for joining for the workshop today. So few little housekeeping notes. I would love if you could drop into chat and just say who you are, where you're from, and what you do. Just would love to know more about you. And then two, there's a handout in the chat section and in the handout section. So feel free to access that handout throughout the webinar. You'll mostly need it at the end and afterwards, so you don't really need to worry about it during this workshop. Also, we will be sending a recording of this webinar afterwards, so if you miss something, don't worry, you can always watch it again. Okay, so the average email marketer earns $38 for every $1 they spend on email. But top performing email marketers make $70 for every $1 they spend on email, nearly double the average. And these top marketers use 4 powerful emails to make that happen, and that is what I'm going to walk you through today. So I already had an introduction, so I'm going to keep this short. My name is Liz Willits, and I'm a senior content marketing specialist. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at help@aweber.com, or you can ask me a question on Twitter at Liz Willits. And if you stay until the end, I have a freebie for you guys. It is a free course. It's an email writing course, but it also is a guide that includes more than 45 fill-in-the-blank email copy templates. So these will help you write emails really quickly, and it's like Mad Libs, you just fill in the blanks. So stay until the end to get that. It's totally free, just for attending. And quickly, AWeber, we're an email marketing company in the Philly suburbs, and our email marketing platform helps more than 100,000 businesses connect with their audience through email. If you're ever in or around Philly, definitely come and visit. Philly is awesome, even if you've heard otherwise. And my goal today is to give you a ton of free, valuable content and ideas and strategies. I love teaching people about email marketing, and today I'm really hoping to give you ideas you've never seen before and inspire you to try new things and level up your email marketing strategy and ultimately help to grow your business. So whether you have a nonprofit, a small business, a large business, or you're an entrepreneur trying to build a business, you need email marketing. It is one of the best, if not the best, marketing channels to promote your business, to build an audience of loyal fans, and to reach your goals. We have a full agenda today, so I'm going to jump right into the presentation. All right, the first email that is very important is the welcome email, and it's the first email you should send to your subscribers. If you don't have an automated welcome email set up right now, this can be a huge win for you. And if you already have a welcome email, I'll explain how you can make it even better. So again, an automated welcome email is the first email you send subscribers. It's sent automatically to them right after they join your list. And you can set it up and it'll run and run for you. So it's a great way to maximize your effort. You just set it up once and it will keep sending to your new subscribers. So why are welcome emails so important? They get 4 times higher open rates and 5 times higher click-through rates than other emails. So you may think that this email is not that important, but it really is. And I see so many people who aren't using a welcome email, or their welcome email isn't that great, and there are ways that they could make it better and more impactful. So this is a clutch email that you can add really easily to your strategy. So here's what you should include in your welcome email. First off, deliver your incentive. So if you promise an incentive or a freebie on your sign-up form in exchange for someone joining your list, make sure you deliver that in your welcome email. Also, ask your subscribers to whitelist you. And whitelisting is when they add you to their address book in Gmail or in Yahoo. And that tells ISPs like Gmail and Yahoo to make sure your emails go to the inbox. So often what email marketers struggle with is actually getting their emails to reach people's inboxes. If your emails are ending in the spam folder, or if they're ending up in the promotions tab, whitelisting can be something that can be really helpful for you. So I'll show you an example of that later on so you can see what it looks like. 3, set expectations. So explain how often you'll send emails in your welcome email, and explain what kind of content you will be sending to people. 4, introduce yourself or your business. So this isn't a time to sell your product or your service, but it is a good time to tell people who you are and what you stand for in a short, quick way. And 5, build excitement. Your email list and being on your email list should be something that gets your subscribers excited. If you're sharing valuable content and you're giving people what they need and solving their problems, being on your email list is an awesome thing. And tell people in your welcome email all of the great stuff you'll be sending them. This can increase your open rates and your click-through rates on future emails. So here's a free tool, and there's a link to this tool in your handout. It's called Email Libs, and it can help you create a welcome email really quickly. It's basically a site where you can fill in the blanks on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, it'll create an email template for you. So if you don't feel like writing your own welcome email from scratch, this is a great way to get started. Now, I do recommend customizing this a bit more to your business after the fact, but it is a great way to get started so you're not starting with a blank page. So again, there's a link to this in your handout, so don't feel like you need to access it now, but you can also create a ton of other emails besides your welcome email with this tool. So definitely check it out after the webinar. That's just a freebie we created to make email creation easier for you guys. So feel free to check that out, no strings attached. All right, so now I want to get into an example of a great welcome email. This is an email from Beard Brand. Notice how in the beginning of the email they set expectations. And they do an excellent job of describing the emails they'll be sending in their welcome emails. And they explain all of the value they're giving people. And notice this last line of the email, a special surprise. This is a great way to get people to keep opening your emails. So this welcome email, the first 4 paragraphs are all about getting people excited about future emails and setting expectations. Notice how they say in that second paragraph, over the next 10 days, I'll send you our most valuable content to get you caught up in your beard education, which is awesome. They're conveying their tone through this, but they're also saying how often people are going to receive emails and when they're receiving them and how much value are in those emails. Here is the last part of that same email. They give subscribers the chance to unsubscribe right there at the top after explaining the type of content they'll be sending people. And this is a great idea because you really don't want people on your list that don't want to be on your list, because eventually they'll stop opening and they'll stop clicking your emails. And having people on your list like that really can hurt your email deliverability, which means that more of your emails will go to the spam filter or they won't be delivered at all. So you want to make sure that the people on your email list truly want to be on your list. And this link that Beard Brand includes to let people unsubscribe is a great way to make sure that happens. Here is another welcome email from Ann Handley. She writes a bi-monthly newsletter called Total Anarchy, and I love it. And this email is a great example of an email that covers all the bases that you need in a welcome email, but in a succinct and easy to read way. So first, she describes the frequency of emails and what kind of content people will receive. Second, she gets people to engage and give her content ideas. And she does that by asking people to reply to her email and let her know what they're hoping to learn. So this is an awesome way to immediately engage with her audience, and she gets great responses from people for this. She's an AWeber customer, so I recently talked to her about the kind of responses she gets, and it's awesome. They give her content ideas, and it's a way that she engages with her audience. But additionally, if you can get one of your subscribers to reply to your email, in most internet service providers like Gmail and Yahoo, that will actually add you to their address book automatically. So that's another way you can get people to whitelist you and increase your deliverability. Third, she talks about deliverability and making sure her emails reach the primary inbox. So she explains that you can get it out of the Gmail promotions tab simply by dragging the first email over into your primary inbox. And fourth, she gives her top posts at the bottom of the email. So this is a ton of free value right away. It's setting the tone for her relationship with subscribers and saying, hey, like, I'm going to give you a ton of free valuable content, and this is just the beginning of it. Here's my top posts. And so that's another great thing you can do in your welcome email. Is anyone having trouble hearing, by the way? Victoria just mentioned that she can't hear anymore. So if you could drop in the chat and let me know if you're okay to hear it. Patrick says he can hear us, and Victoria says she can hear us again. Okay, good. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for letting me know. And also, hi, everybody. All right, so that's an example of what Ann Handley does in her welcome email. It's a really great welcome email and a great example of what you could try in your own welcome email. All right, now we're on to email 2, an email newsletter. And it's an email you send on a regular basis that's helpful to your audience. And you might think, ugh, an email newsletter? Like, seriously? That's what you're going to tell me about? But email newsletters are huge right now. There are a ton of really profitable businesses that all they do is send a newsletter. They send a newsletter with affiliate links in it to make money, or they have sponsorships around their email newsletter. And there's a bunch of companies doing this. And there are a bunch of brands who use newsletters to build a regular, engaged subscriber audience. So I can't stress how important this is. And there are a ton of really great ways to build a newsletter that's awesome easily. So one of the newsletters that is extremely successful is called The Skim. And here's an example of it. And it's a daily newsletter that shares the latest news in a fun and, I think, really accessible way. And it's solving a few problems for their subscribers. Number one, it saves their time. They don't need to scour the internet to find out what's happening. The most important news is delivered right to their inbox every single morning. So for me, I work full time and I love the Skim because I don't need to spend time looking on the internet for the latest news. It's delivered right to my inbox. So it's solving a problem for their audience. Number two is educating subscribers on topics that are really important to them. So that's awesome. And finally, it's funny. The tone of the Skim is really humorous. For instance, check out that quote of the day section. It says, "We have had an overwhelming response." And it's from a Pennsylvania police department that asked volunteers to get drunk and help with officer training. So for me, I see that in my inbox, and beyond being educational, beyond saving my time, it's also just funny. So I open it every morning. And the Skims entire business is built on this daily newsletter. And you can see it's sponsored by Vanguard, so that's one way they're monetizing it. And they also have sponsored links at the bottom of the email. And because they're providing value every single day, people open and click this email regularly. And you can do the same in your newsletter. You don't have to have sponsored links or have sponsors. You could be promoting your blog post articles or your videos or your own brand. So there's a ton of different ways you can use your newsletter to promote your business. And you don't need to send a newsletter daily. You could send it once a week or even once a month, as long as you send somewhat regularly. So let's talk a bit more about why a regular email newsletter is so important. So, number one, it keeps your subscribers engaged. What often happens with email lists is that people start sending emails infrequently to their audience. And so what happens is subscribers forget who you are. If you send infrequently, they might not remember who you are in the inbox, which can lead them to marking your emails as spam, unsubscribing, forgetting who you are. So a regular newsletter keeps reminding subscribers of who you are and has them regularly opening and clicking your emails, which is important. Secondly, it drives regular traffic to your site. If you have blog posts or videos or just landing pages you want people to visit, your newsletter can help send traffic to your site, which is great for SEO, great for getting comments on your blog posts. And ultimately, if you create content, you want people to see it, and your newsletter can help with that. Third, it builds a relationship. Over time, if you regularly email your subscribers and you give them value, that builds a huge relationship and a deep connection, which can actually make people more likely to buy your product or service. Which leads me to point 4, it can help you sell your product or service. And finally, increase email subscribers. If people hear that you have a great newsletter that you send out for free on a regular basis, they're going to want to subscribe to your list. Your current subscribers are going to tell their friends about you because you've really helped them out. So it's a great way to grow your list and to grow your audience too. So what can you put in your newsletter? You can input your own educational content in there. So if you create your own blog posts, you create your own videos, you create a podcast, you can put all of that into your newsletter, link to it. You can also put curated educational content like posts, videos, and quotes. And curated content is content created by other brands and other companies. You could include special offers. So if you're having a limited time sale or you're partnering with another company to give away something, you could put that in there. And timely information. So let's say something in your industry has just happened that affects your audience. You could put that in your newsletter and let them know about that. So for instance, something we put in our newsletter recently was an article, a blog post about GDPR. And GDPR, if you don't know, is a law about what people can do with data online and what companies can do with data online. And a lot of our audience was worried about it because you can get sued or get fined if you break the GDPR rules. So we sent them an article to explain what to do about GDPR. And that's really timely information because there was a certain date by which they needed to act to make sure they were compliant with GDPR. Now let's look at a few examples of really great newsletters that I think are just some of the best in the inbox right now. So one way you could send a newsletter is a single post newsletter. And this is an email newsletter from writing coach Henneke. She's the founder of Enchanting Marketing. And this newsletter promotes Henneke's most recent blog post. And like I said, she just promotes one post here. So some newsletters share a bunch of content, but if you happen to publish less frequently, you might want to consider a newsletter like this. Henneke tells a personal story at the beginning of the email to draw people in, and then she ties that story back to her blog post. And I recommend using stories as well in your email content. People are more interested in stories and boring marketing jargon or marketing talk. So make sure to add some personality to your emails. I think we often feel as marketers and as business owners that we have to be, very official and businessy in our emails. And I really encourage you to go and take a fun tone. It can make a huge difference in your engagement. People will actually have fun reading your emails instead of just being bored by them. So try to have a fun tone, incorporate your personality, and do it in a way that is good for your brand. So a huge company might not share a story like this, but there's tons of other ways to add personality to your newsletters. Then there are multiple post newsletters. So these are great if you publish content more frequently or you have a blog with a lot of content already. And this one is from AWeber customer, Gina Homolka. She's the founder of the health food blog skinnytaste. And I absolutely love skinnytaste, so check it out if you're looking for healthy recipes. But each week, she sends her subscribers a weekly meal plan filled with nutritious, healthy recipes for the week. And that's her newsletter. And at the beginning of her meal plan email, she explains how the meal plan works and what kind of recipes are in it. And then she goes into even more details, explaining the serving sizes, the grocery list she includes in the email, and that the meal plan is adaptable to every subscriber's needs. So goes through and explains all the details, then links off to a bunch of her old blog posts and even some newer blog posts for recipes for every single day of the week. So this is providing a ton of free value to her audience. If you can have healthy, nutritious recipes in a meal plan delivered to you every week in your inbox for free, that's awesome. That can be life-changing for someone who wants to eat healthier. And it also benefits her because she's driving traffic to all of these older blog posts and some of her current posts. And that's great for her business model because she advertises on her site. So more traffic on her website means more advertising money as well. So it's awesome for her subscribers. They're receiving all these free recipes, and it's great for her. So this is another example of how you could send a really value-packed newsletter. Obviously, if you're not a food blogger, you would adapt this somehow to your own business. But an awesome example of someone who's sharing a ton of their own content. But you might be sitting here listening to this workshop and wondering, what if I don't create my own content on a regular basis? How can I send a regular newsletter? And that's a problem for a ton of people. If you don't have a big content team or you're someone running your business by yourself, you probably aren't writing 7 blog posts a week. You might not even be writing 1 blog post a week. So how can you share regular content with your audience? I recommend trying curation. It's a simple way to create your newsletter very, very quickly. And all it is you share valuable content in your newsletter that was created by other people. So it's content that you find across the internet and you share with your audience. Remember the skim who I talked about earlier? This is exactly what they do. Almost all of the content in their newsletter was created by other people and people not associated with their company. But they're still providing a huge, huge service to their audience by finding and gathering all of these important articles for them. So you don't need to create your own content. You can share other people's content. You just want to make sure you're sharing valuable content that your audience actually wants. Okay, so I told you I would share a way to create a newsletter from your phone in minutes. And you can do that with AWeber's Curate app. It's a mobile app that allows you to create an email. And you can create it on your phone in minutes. So I'm going to attempt to show you a quick video of how this works. So if you don't see this video, let me know. And if you can't hear it, let me know. All right, could everyone hear that? I heard someone say the video is not working. That was from Ian. Let me know if you had problems hearing it. Oh, Victoria says she's heard it. I'll drop the link into chat so that you guys can watch it again later if you'd like. There you go. Yeah, so Curate is really, really awesome. So I would recommend checking it out. If you are creating emails on the go, it's a great tool for you. You can simply add emails from website links. Add links from your website to your email. It'll automatically pull that article in for you and an image if there's one associated with it. So what's nice about Curate is you can build emails on the go and your life doesn't have to be stopped by running your business. So anyway, let's get on to our third email. Can everyone see my screen now? You should be seeing 3, the conversion email. Oh, cool. Thanks, Gwen. Gwen says yes. So this is an email that's very important to most people. So what is it? It's an email dedicated to convincing your subscribers to purchase. And this is what we all want. And if you're a nonprofit, it's an email that can help convince people to donate or to take any kind of action. And it pulls all the stops to get people to buy and buy again. And it's a very powerful email. But it's very, very important that it's well written. It's not going to be effective if it's not written well. And a lot of people aren't sure what to write in these emails and how to make them really convincing. So I recommend trying conversion techniques. And there are a few simple techniques you can try that are very, very effective in email, like these ones. So first, tell people how your product or service will transform their lives. For example, if you're a personal fitness trainer, tell people how being fit will give them more energy, decrease depression, and help them avoid injury. These are big benefits that will actually transform their lives. People don't buy things for fancy features or because it's discounted. They buy because they hope a product or service will make their life better and will transform them. So that's number one. Number two, tap into your audience's problems and challenges. In your conversion emails, explain how your product or service will solve your subscribers' problems or challenges. For example, let's say you're a marketing consultant. In your conversion email, how about, write about the struggle your subscribers have to get new people to learn about their product or service, and then explain how you can solve that problem for them. And to make this work, you need to know your audience's challenges and problems. If you don't, ask your audience what they're struggling with and what they need help with. So again, this step, you really need to know what your audience is actually having problems with and what you can do to help them. So make sure to have that conversation with your audience if you don't know what they're struggling with. Number 3, destroy their doubts. Your audience might be wondering before they purchase if your product or service actually works. And you need to get rid of these doubts. Bring up the common doubts they have about your product or service. So just start the conversation and bring up those doubts and explain how they're not true. Show them case studies of customers you've helped, of people whose lives you've transformed with your product or service. Share testimonials from happy customers, show ratings, positive reviews, and just make sure to demonstrate your proven success record. If you don't have case studies or testimonials, contact one of your happy customers and get them. Even if you're an entrepreneur who just started your business, find one person and maybe give your product or service to them for free in exchange for their honest testimonial, their honest feedback, or an honest case study. 3, make it risk-free. Like I just mentioned, a lot of people are going to doubt that your product or service will work for them. And if you want to completely get rid of these doubts, try making your product or service risk-free by offering a money-back guarantee, for example. And this isn't possible for everyone. If you work at a large company, you might not be able to go to your CEO and say like, hey, we should have a money-back guarantee. But for those who it is possible, it's a great way to make your audience not have any doubts about your purchase, about your product. And then finally, create urgency. You might want to try making a limited time or a limited quantity sale to create that urgency and get people to buy now. This can really encourage your subscribers to make that final leap of purchasing. So now let me go through a couple examples of this in action so you can see exactly what I mean. So this email is from the entrepreneur Ramit Sethi, and it's a conversion email to sell his online course for Earn 1K. And Earn 1K shows people how to create their own business and make it profitable. So he actually uses a bunch of conversion techniques to get his subscribers to a point where they're ready to buy. This is an impressive conversion email. So here, Ramit shows the transformation that starting his business had on his own life. He's now able to have expensive dinners and go out to eat. Here, he explains the common doubts that people have about starting their own business. So he says, nobody would ever pay me $50 an hour. I don't have time to work on the side. I don't even have a business idea. And then he explains that these are natural doubts and not to worry about it. Here he explains, he introduces his product as a solution to those doubts he lists above. People don't have to do it alone. They can use a proven system. And here he shares a customer case study / testimonial to further destroy those doubts that people might have. So this is the email continued. So this is a longer email, and sometimes conversion emails are long, and that's okay. If you're trying to get someone to buy an expensive product or service, you might need to have a long email to convince them to make that leap and buy. And in this email, he keeps destroying the doubts his subscribers might have about purchasing. So he says that earning money on the side is easier than you think. And then he links back to more case studies that people can check out. So he's doing a ton of work to make sure that people aren't afraid to take action and buy his product. And then he keeps talking about life transformation. He says, think about it. You can be yourself, do what you love, and get paid for it. That's a huge life transformation. He's describing the future life someone can have if they use his product, if they buy his course, and learn how to start their business on the side. So you can do the same in your own emails. Describe the transformation that you want that your product or service will give to your subscribers. And then he makes sure to explain how much is included in the course and show how it's worth the money. Okay, so now let's take a look at an example from another company. This is a conversion email from Henneke of Enchanting Marketing. She's selling her Write It, Don't Fight It course. Right at the beginning of the email is another example of showing transformation. She explains that writing used to be difficult for her, but she learned how to love writing and how to write easily, and then introduces her course as a way for subscribers to learn the same exact techniques she used and experienced that transformation themselves. Here she uses urgency to convince people to take action and buy the course sooner rather than later, because the discount's only available for a limited time. Here she makes the course risk-free by offering a 30-day money-back guarantee. And here she destroys a doubt people might have, which is, I don't have time right now, by explaining that they can take the course at any time. They don't need to take it right away. So again, that was 2 great examples of conversion emails in action. If you check out your inbox, do a search through your inbox to look for other conversion emails and see how people are using conversion techniques to get people to buy. And now let's get to our fourth and final email, the A/B split test email. So what is an A/B split test? It's when you send 2 or more variations of an email to an equal audience of your subscribers to find out which performs better. If that sounds confusing, don't worry, I'm going to go through an example. Here's an example from an AWeber customer. Music Marketing Manifesto. And it's an online consulting business, and they actually teach musicians how to sell and promote their music. So a very niche business and really cool. The company's founder, his name is John, and he's been capitalizing the first letter of his email subject lines for years. But he actually wondered recently whether this was giving him the highest possible opens and clicks. So he decided to A/B split test his emails to find out. Here's a split test, and the subject line is what he split test, so that's why the rest is blurred out, so don't worry about that. He created 2 identical versions of a promotional email for his upcoming Copywriting for Musicians workshop, and both versions warn subscribers that this is their last chance to register for the workshop. In his first email, he followed his typical formula and where he capitalizes the first letter of his subject line, and in the second email, he didn't capitalize any letters. And you might think this is a small thing, but see what happens. He sent each email to a different 10% of his subscriber list, and then he waited 4 hours. And John's split test revealed that the subject line with lowercase letters got 35% more opens and clicks. So he sent the winning email to the remaining 80% of his list and got higher engagement. And I think this is so cool that he got 35% more engagement by simply changing how his subject line was capitalized. And this is just a really tiny, tiny thing that you could do that could have a big impact. And now every audience is different. This might not have the same result for your own audience, but it's a great example of how split testing can have a huge, huge impact on your results. Imagine if you're split testing a conversion email and the one email increases sales by 40%. That's an email that you should send to more people more often, and then you know that that email was more effective. So now let's go into a little bit more of why A/B split testing is important. It can boost your open rates, it can boost your click-through rates, you can find out what emails work and what emails don't work. You can send your emails at the right time. So if you've ever wondered, when should I send my emails to get the most engagement? Should I send them in the morning or in the evening? Split test it. Send one in the morning, send one in the evening of the same email, and you can find out which one gets better engagement. And then you can also find out what the best day is to send. So is it Tuesday or is it Thursday? Try a split test and see which one gets more engagement. Everyone's audience is different. Every email subscriber is different. So what works for one marketer might not be what's best for your audience. A/B split testing is the best way to find out what is good for your audience. Now I want to go into some examples of A/B split tests you can try. First, let's talk about subject line split tests. So here's a few simple ones that could have a big impact. Try split testing an emoji subject line versus one without emojis. Try a short subject line, one that's under 30 characters versus one that is like 60 characters. Try a descriptive subject line, so one that says exactly what's in the email versus one that's intriguing, that hints at what's in the email. Like in our case study example, you could try a title case or a capitalized subject line and try that against a lowercase subject line. And then try urgency versus no urgency. You could say like limited time only in your subject line, and then the other one, be more descriptive about what your offer is and don't mention the urgency. So these are just a bunch of quick examples. There are so many things you can test with your subject lines, and split testing is fun, so I recommend just trying that out. But there are also a bunch of things you can test in your email content to increase your click-through rates and your sales. And here are 6 examples of that. Before I get into this example, I want to give you guys a little bit of background on these example emails. I created these emails myself in AWeber in a few minutes using our drag and drop editor and a template. So it's really easy to create emails in AWeber. And I'm not an email designer, and I think this email looks pretty decent. So just FYI, I'm pretty proud of how these turned out since it only took a few minutes for me to build them. Okay, now back to the examples. This A/B split test is testing longer content versus shorter content. So very similar content, but one email is longer, one is shorter. The longer content goes into more detail. And this is an interesting test for your own audience because you can see how long your emails really should be. If the longer email gets more click-throughs, then you might want to send longer, more descriptive emails. Or if the shorter email works, and that's a great way to know that your audience likes shorter emails and they like it when you get to the point. You can also test using a headline versus not using one to see which leads to a higher click-through rate, just like this email does. You can see the headline on the left is 5 pre-workout stretches to prevent injuries, and you can see on the right there is no headline. And you can find out whether or not adding a PS to the bottom of your email will increase click-through rates. You can see at the bottom of this email that I added, on the bottom of the email on the right, I added a PS that says, once you finish stretching, try this 15-minute cardio workout, and it links off to a different blog post. So you could test that. You could test using a header image versus not using one. So a lot of people include a header image in their email, but do you actually know if that works or if people will take more action if there is an image? Split test is a great way to find out. You could test a button versus hyperlinked text. On the left, I have a pink button that says stretch, and on the right, I just have hyperlinked text. And maybe your audience likes the hyperlinked text and is more likely to click on that, or maybe they like the button. But if it increases your click-through rates, that can have a big impact over time for your engagement. And one last idea, you could test first name personalization versus none. So if you look below the headline that says 5 pre-workout stretches to prevent injuries, on the left I have first name personalization, hi first name fix. So in AWeber, that would insert their first name for them. So if it was an email to me, it would say hi Liz. And the email on the right does not have that. So you could test to see whether personalization increases your click-through rate. Okay, so that's the 4 emails. Those 4 emails are extremely powerful. The marketers who are seeing extremely high engagement and awesome ROI and great sales with email are using those 4 messages. So make sure to try them out, add them to your strategy, and see how they work for you. And now, before we get to Q&A, I do have a few things to give you. So stick around. Q&A is going to be great. And if you want to start typing your questions into Q&A as well, into the question window. But now, some free stuff for you guys. First off, just because you attended this workshop, I do have a free offer for you guys. And this is an awesome deal. I've never done this deal before. This is the first time, and it's exclusive to you guys. So if you sign up for a 30-day free trial of AWeber, you'll get our course, 24/7 Email Marketing Masterclass, which we sell for $50, and you'll get it absolutely free. So just use the code SAVE50. Again, you'll get a 30-day free trial of AWeber, and that includes all of our features. We'll help you set up an account. You'll get unlimited access to our customer solutions team, but you'll also get this free course, 24/7 Email Marketing Masterclass, for free. So you can even cancel your account after the 30 days. You don't have to pay $1, but you'll still get that free course. So if you decide you don't like AWeber and you don't want to keep it, you'll still get the course and you'll still walk away with that for free, and we normally sell it for $50. So let me talk a bit about what that course is. It's a course that's going to show you how to set up your email automation. So it'll show you from start to finish how to set up automated emails that sell your product and service 24/7. They can have a huge impact on your ROI. And here's what a few students said about the course. Rod L said, "This is the best money I've ever spent." And that's one of the best testimonials I've ever gotten. I helped to create this course. So Rod says it's the best money he's ever spent. Anna T says, if you're ready to create an effective email marketing strategy and don't know where to begin, this is an extremely helpful course. I have my email marketing strategy in place because of it. And then why AWeber? So, why get a 30-day free trial of AWeber? 1, we integrate with Outgrow. 2, you can split test every aspect of your emails. A lot of email marketing platforms only let you split test your subject lines. With AWeber, you can split test all of your email content. So your CTA buttons, you can test images versus no images, long versus short content. And then you can easily create and send emails. If I can do it, you can do it. Automate all of your marketing. We have powerful automation features. Our customer service team, our customer solutions team is available 24/7, which is somewhat rare in the industry, and they're awesome. And also you can use Curate to create your newsletter from anywhere. Here's a testimonial from Marissa Roberts, and she says she recommends AWeber to everyone and says it's user-friendly. And then Mark Asquith says, AWeber has been with me from day one as an integral part of my business. And he says that we genuinely care about his business, and this platform scales for him. So to claim this offer, again, it's for 24/7 email marketing masterclass for free. Just go to bit.ly/AWsave50. The page will look like this to start your free trial. The link I just gave you should automatically apply this promo code for you, which is called Save50. You'll select the monthly plan because that's the one where you don't have to pay anything. Now, if you do decide that you wanted to sign up for AWeber quarterly or annually, you could still choose those. But if you don't want to pay anything right away and you want to try AWeber, then just select first month free. And then just hit start my free trial. This page will show you, this page will be shown to you after you click that button, which is actually promoting 24/7 email marketing masterclass for the $50. But just click no thanks, proceed to my receipt. You can see that down here in the yellow. So don't buy it because you're going to be getting it for free. So do not buy it. Because then once you get your trial, you'll get I'll send an email to your inbox with directions to access the course for free. And again, this is a 30-day trial, no risk. You can cancel it without paying $1, and you'll get this $50 course for free. And here's the link. And then I told you would get a freebie at the end of this webinar, and this is in your handout too. This is the 45 fill-in-the-blank email templates and our email writing course. All right, and again, if you're trying to access that link, there it is at the bottom. But now it's time for questions. So I would love to hear anyone who has questions and help answer those questions. So just type them in. Benji says he missed the link. It's there on the bottom of the page right now, so you can look at it. And I'll also type it in the chat so that you can check it out. Okay, so I just dropped it into chat. That should work. So Richard asks, which version had higher conversion? Were you asking about the split test email, the one with the case study one, Richard? Yes, you said yes. I believe the one with the lower, that was all lowercase, had higher open rates, higher click-through rates, and higher conversion. And then Patty says, are the prices in US funds? Yes, they are. They're in US dollars. Oh, and then Gwen says, hi, Gwen. She says, how can I personalize these welcome emails? Please give me some tips. So personalize them to your own audience. I would recommend, so definitely talking about your unique business and the kind of content you'll send people. If you want to personalize it to your subscribers, you could add their first name into the email. A lot of people do like, hi, Liz, at the beginning of their emails, but you could also put that in like the middle of the email. I love when people do that. So they'll have an email where like the second paragraph, the end of it ends with my name. And I love that because it seems so personal. And you could also, I saw, as far as welcome email personalization, I've seen people include images of themselves if they're an entrepreneur, or images of their team to add some personality. And in that beard brand example I showed at the beginning of the webinar, they actually have a video of one of their team members talking about beard brand and what they're all about. So you could definitely add a video to it to personalize it to your audience as well. So Nicholas asks how many recipients can one send an email to when using AWeber? Sky's the limit. So our email list here at AWeber, we often send to hundreds of thousands of people all at once. So it just depends how big your email list is. You can send as many people as you'd like. It's unlimited emails. David says the what to write in your emails download isn't working. Let me try to check that out. Do you mean that the sign up form isn't popping up, David, or that you can't get to the page? I'll drop that page again into chat so that you could try it. Okay, I just dropped that into chat again. And then Richard asks, these are the free templates mentioned, and he points the link www.aweber.com/email copy templates. Yes, those are the interactive templates that I mentioned that are free. And then if you follow the link I just dropped in the chat, it's a non-interactive version of the templates and like 30 additional templates that aren't included in the interactive version. Plus, if you sign up through that page, you also get an email course that talks about how to write great emails. So Gwen has another great question. She asks, how can I include a whole lot of content in my emails without intimidating or putting off my subscribers? Great question. Let me scroll back to some emails to show you how you can do that. Let me see if I can find a good example back here. So here's a good example here. One thing I really, really recommend if you have a long email is to have very, very short paragraphs. So if you look how I sketched this email out, how I layered it out, this isn't a ton of content, but I have it in 4 separate paragraphs. So have short paragraphs and also have really short sentences. So I try to avoid complex sentences. Pretty much everything you learned in English class, ignore that and just write short sentences. Avoid compound sentences. You can use a tool called the Hemingway app. Let me pull that up, actually. I'll send you guys a link to it. I love the Hemingway app. So what it does, it's a free tool. It's not associated with AWeber. But you can paste your email content into it and see how complicated it is and how easy it is to read. So you'll get a grade level for it, and it'll tell you, like, here's how you can improve your email and make it easier to read. So I would try using the Hemingway app to make your content more readable and more accessible. I also recommend using headlines to separate different sections of your email. So like a big, long bunch of text is overwhelming, but if you have headlines separating it, that can make it a little bit less overwhelming. You can see here in this email that he uses bold text in certain places to highlight important text. So for people who want to skim your email, they can just check out the bolded sections. Actually, that's Hennika, so she. And then here's Ramit's email, and he uses headlines throughout to make it easier to read and breaks up sections with images. So I hope that helps. So what counts as a subscriber? David asks this. A subscriber is a person who signed up to be on your email list. So for instance, if I signed up for your email list, that would be one subscriber. My name would be Liz. And then if you had another 5 different people join your email list, they would all be subscribers too. So I hope that answers your question, David, but let me know if it doesn't. So I'm looking for more questions now. So let's see. Mike asks, does AWeber integrate with a service that mails postcards and other printed material? Good question, Mike. We have a lot of integrations. I think we do, but don't quote me on that. So I will follow up with you after the webinar with more information to let you know whether that's the case or not. Vanessa says, thank you for the webinar. It's very nice. Thank you, Vanessa, for attending. All right, let's see, any more? Okay, so David Moyer has another question. How do you keep the subscriber up to date so you're not being charged for subscribers that haven't opted out? Oh, okay, great question. So there's a few things I recommend on this. One is delete subscribers who haven't opened an email for a while. So what we do here at AWeber is if someone hasn't opened an email in 6 months and you've been sending regular emails, I just delete them. They're not opening your emails. They've been given tons of chances to open them, and they're on your email list, and they're actually hurting your email deliverability because people who don't engage, who are on your list, ISPs like Gmail see that, and they take it as, people don't want your emails, and so they're more likely to send your emails to the spam folder. So I would regularly delete subscribers who haven't opened an email in 6 months. Maybe you have your own time period for doing that, but I definitely recommend getting rid of those people. If you feel a little bit weird just deleting subscribers off your list, you could run a re-engagement campaign. And a re-engagement campaign is when you send 1 to 3 emails to subscribers who haven't opened an email in a long time, and you say to them, hey, do you still want to be subscribed? If so, click the link in this email, and if they don't click that link, you unsubscribe them. If you're an AWeber customer, you can easily build a segment of people who haven't opened an email in a while. That's really easy to do in AWeber, and you can also build a segment of people who did not click on the link in your re-engagement email, and then unsubscribe them. So Miriam asks, is it possible to have access to the free trial without providing credit card information? So you will need to provide credit card information, unfortunately, sorry to say, but we will not charge you for anything until day 30. So you could delete, if you try AWeber out this week, you could set a reminder on your phone to get rid of it after this week, or to cancel your account so you don't get charged for anything. Again, you have a whole entire 30 days before we charge you for anything. But if you want to just try it out for a week and then delete your account, that's fine too. So yeah, unfortunately, you do have to add it into your credit card, but we're extremely careful with that data. And if you want to turn off your account at any point, you can. So David asked to send the interactive email link again. Okay, David, let me find that. It's in the handout too. So if you haven't accessed the handout yet, it has all of the links from this workshop in that handout. So definitely check that out. I'll also be emailing that to you after the webinar. But let me pull up that link for you guys from the handout. And I'll drop them in to chat. All right, well, I don't have any more questions in the questions window. David says, awesome, thank you. Thank you, David, and you're welcome. So if there's no more questions, I'll end the webinar, I'll end the workshop, but feel free to reach out to me on Twitter. Again, my handle is Liz Willits. I'd love to talk with you all. If you want to follow me, you're welcome to. It was really great to have you guys here, and I appreciate your time. And if you missed anything, the recording's definitely coming to your inbox shortly. And thank you again so much for being here. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week.